it on, I don't know, maybe the material applied to the particles. So red particles go to one target, green particles go to another target, and so forth. You've got absolute control there. It's very, very good. Very, very flexible. So let's just go back here. Let's move back now and have a look at the point parameter. So what we've actually done is we've defined the object, and it can be random, or we can choose closest pivot, closest surface, least deviation, or by script integer. And once we've decided on that object, you can then decide a point on the surface, or you can actually choose a point in space. So let's have a look at how that works. We'll go up here and we'll, as you can see in this case, we're choosing a random point on the surface. So if I press play, there we go, the particles are flying out. Now I could choose closest surface. So now if I press play, you can see we're getting a different result as the particles fly to the closest point on the surface nearest to them, as you can see there. And the next option we have is by script vector. Now for this to work, we actually need to set up a script vector, which I'm actually going to use here. Actually, before I do that, you can see I've actually got another option here which we'll quickly have a look at. I'll just go back to random and we'll have a look at this. I'll just turn off integer successive and I'll just choose integer random. And with this particular option, if we have a look at the script, you can see that we've got a random choice here. We can either be a target of anywhere from 2 to 4, and whichever number it comes out here assigns that to the target, and that actually becomes the index. So if I press play, you can see that the particles are assigned to 2, 3, or 4. If I go into this script, change that to 1, change that to 5, and play again, now you can see it can be anything from 1 to 5. So we've got control there, again using a random value, which, I mean, it actually replicates exactly this functionality here, but it just goes to show you can actually script it just as well as actually use this option, just to demonstrate the flexibility of using scripting. Okay, so let's go back to what we were doing, which was by script vector. There we go, and I'll just press play, and you can see our particles are flying off to their random objects. And just choose script vector here. And what I'll do is actually I'll set the object to be random, and I'm actually defining the point on the surface by using a script vector here. Now I'm not actually going to try and define a point on the surface. If we actually look at the script vector script here, you can see that it's actually going to use a sine wave, which is based on time, and it's going to multiply that by 3, and then it's going to put that into a particle vector which is based on time and these various numbers and whatever here. Now what this will actually do is it'll actually define a point here in the world, and then as time goes on that point will move up here. So if we actually press play, you can see our particles head towards their surfaces, and then you can see they fly offwards in this direction. So if I actually go up here, there you go, you can see they're flying off in that direction. And that's because there's actually a vector being defined which is actually moving out in this direction. So it's actually a moving target which is moving off in this direction down here. So if I set this to speed and I set the speed a little bit higher, there we go, and I can actually set the acceleration value a bit higher as well, and we'll just have it ease in a bit as well. There you go. Press play. Okay, so you can see now we're laying out a trail of particles which is actually heading out in this direction. It's a line here. Can you see this line here? That's actually the line that I'm defining. So you can see you can actually define the point that the particles are going to try and dock with by using this script vector here. You can actually define your object by using these integers here, and you can also use closest surface or random point on the surface to actually define these point values as well. So this defines what object it is going to try and reach and